Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 2 of What If Naruto Learned Black Magic from a Powerful Spirit. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, stay in tune for their story tips coming your way over Anime King 2 and over Anime King 3. If you're new, yes. You did hear that correctly. Indeed, have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, and Making 3, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. Thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Remember to go ahead and check out the other channels. So yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into this, guys. So, the last spot we left off, a 3-year-old Naruto was told by Hiruzen not to leave his house when the festival was happening, but the lights were so enticing that he left his house. As he decided to make his way, the more he walked, the more he heard people shouting and glaring at him. He couldn't understand. It was then that he started to chase him. At first he thought it was fun, that they were playing a game with him, a 3-year-old mind not understand that they were chasing him, until he felt a sharp pain as someone hit him with something. It was then that his instincts kicked in as he started to run and flee. As he quickly made his way down the alley, he was being chased relentlessly. No matter where he turned, no matter where he go, they were still chasing after him, until he got captured. After all, he was just 3 years old trying to outrun a mob. He was dragged and thrown out of the village, to left for dead basically. Out there, someone found him. As Naruto ended up passing out, Naruto woke up towards the woman. He didn't know why, but his memories were so conflicted. Unknown to him, his memories has been sealed away by Hiruzen, time and time again. Of all the vicious beatings and things that happened to him when he was younger, Hiruzen kept on sealing away his memories. But Naruto did not know that one bit. So he was confused why everything seemed so familiar, as he saw himself getting hit, stabbed, but he couldn't understand. The woman introduced herself as Lulu, as she was a wandering spirit, unable to leave this plane of existence until she complete what she was here to do. As she did not know yet, but her task was to help Naruto. So she took him in though, while Hiruzen was happy that he didn't have to seal away any memories of Naruto this year. He decided to search for where the boy was, as he found Naruto, the red high woman. Before he could do anything, she looked up as his crystal ball shattered. She broke the connection that he had with Naruto to make sure that he wouldn't be able to find him. So with that, Lulu took Naruto under her wing. His mind was young and fresh, so she decided to focus on teaching him how to use magic. As she started dabbling in the arts, but first, they spoke to the fox, and Naruto ended up putting the fox in a plushy toy, basically a small fox. It was able to walk and move around once Naruto got hand of mana, as him and the fox became good friends. As the time passed, Naruto started to remember all the memories, and a lot of hate and anger was placed towards the village hidden in a leaf. The more time passed as Naruto grew, months turned into years, as years passed until he became 15 years old, as Lulu was disappearing. Her job here was complete. She taught Naruto all that she could, and she was grateful to have met him, as she hugged him, as Naruto was grateful to her as well, as she disappeared that night. In a long while, Naruto cried, as he hadn't cried for a very, very long time, but he cried that night. So with that, Naruto set out. Him and Kurama spent 4 months around the Fire Nation making their way, as Hiruzen heard about the boy and the fox. He arrived towards the gate of Konoha after the 4 months was over, but it was locked. So Kurama rammed right into it, breaking it down. As the both of them entered said village, they went straight towards the tower as Naruto was brought towards the count's room after speaking with Hiruzen. He told Konoha that he wouldn't take their crap, not to mention they wouldn't be using him for any CRA to produce his bloodline to anyone, as he wouldn't be giving them a damn thing. The members are outraged by that, as Danzo tried to put his will down upon Naruto as Naruto showed him that he wasn't someone to be messed with as he scorched the man alive. The place went up in an uproar, but most of them shocked to see that ability that Naruto possessed. Not even weaving a handstand, and yet he was able to control flames, water. This kid was truly something. As Naruto will be attending the academy for the exam and becoming a ninja of said village. Reasons unknown. As Hiruzen realized that Naruto was much more powerful than he let on, stepping in the village killing someone, and yet Naruto did not seem to fear any repercussions. Something was wrong. So yeah guys, that's basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the play, check up yourself. So what do you say begin this new episode? Naruto snapped awake in his new apartment, a present from the third Hokage, since his old one was burned multiple times, in celebration of the demon being gone from the village. According to the Kyuubi, Naruto had a sleeping habit when he wasn't in the cave. At exactly 7 hours and 58 minutes and 53 seconds he would snap awake, and there would be no sign of him ever being asleep. But the slightest noise of any unwanted visitors could wake him up. Other than that, he would sleep for exactly that amount of time and then woke up. It was a pain in the ass for Kurama after all. He loved to take naps and sleep. Of course he wouldn't say anything though, as he wouldn't chance his wonderful ear scratching to be taken away after taking a quick ice cold shower and putting on an identical outfit to the one that he wore before. Naruto picked up his Kyuubi doll as he headed out the apartment. It was about 7:30 in the morning, so most of the village was not awake yet, aside from the parents getting their children to school. As Naruto snorted at that, getting ready for school, they're supposed to be trained killers, and their parents asked them, "What would you like for lunch?" Not offering psychiatrical help, perhaps if they show a personality disorder. They must imagine that it's probably a quirk, like the Jonins have. As Naruto shook his head, as Naruto completely ignored the odd stares at his attire, or the hate-filled stares towards his doll. As the Kyuubi though was seeing all of it, as he spoke up. "Brat, people are glaring at me again. I think my attack must have created a sixth sense for these people. They don't even seem to notice you, but they do see the fox toy, and it has created some kind of sixth sense for them to look right through you and see me, thinking that everything related to fox must be destroyed." Hearing the soft mumble of his doll, Naruto came to a stop as he looked around. Sure enough, dozens of villagers were glaring at the doll, and a few were picking up weapons. As Naruto set Kurama on his shoulder before talking aloud so everyone could hear. "Idiots can't seem to tell a 1-foot tall doll from a 100-foot fox. No wonder their village was attacked. If it wasn't for the fourth Hokage, their entire village would have been destroyed before they had the sense to invest the behemoth bearing down on them." Quite a few villagers heard that, as they became pissed off as they stepped towards the boy. "Who are you? And why did you bring that thing into our village?" Seeing an opportunity to cause some problem, Naruto chuckled in a rather dark way. A chuckle that would put Orochimaru laughter to shame. "Oh, you don't remember me? I am absolutely devastated. I am the Kyuubi brat that you threw out 12 years ago. Spread the word, I'm sure your council has figured out by now. And if anyone mess with my doll, they won't live to regret it," said Naruto. With that said, he brushed past the people, as the doll was laughing up a storm. Makes me wonder why that man decided to sacrifice 2 lives to this hellhole. Oh well, the past is the past, and there's nothing I can do to change it. At least I was able to meet Big Sister Lulu from the outcome of their stupidity. The fox doll nodded before it stiffened once again, acting like it was unable to move, to not arouse any suspicion. As Naruto arrived at the academy, as he walked up to the receptionist, he told her he was here to take the exam. The moment she saw his doll, she snarled, as he briefly considered about freezing her like that for eternity. with that ugly snarl on her face. But the third Hokage might get upset if too much of his populace became full-size ornaments. She finally snapped from that as she pointed towards room 103, where Aruka class was. As Naruto made his way towards said room, at the moment Aruka was trying to silence his class, but he was failing quite miserably. It was a genuine exam today, so the entire class was giddy with delight. Except Sasuke, he was brooding about how Itachi graduated earlier. He was about to utilize his own secret technique to silence them all until the door opened, as everyone turned towards the individual. A young man. He was quite attractive. His clothing was a bit loose and a bit off. But still, wait, is that a Kyuubi doll on his shoulder? As everyone started to glare towards that doll, seeing that Naruto was presumed dead for the past couple of years. Parents had told their children about the demon boy that once lived within Konoha. So, yeah, everyone hated the fox for what it did. So if they found out that Naruto was said holder of the fox, or if they found out who he was, that hate would be passed upon him. That is why all the glares were sent towards the fox on his shoulder. Naruto strode straight up to the desk as he tapped it, to get the teacher attention off his doll and on him. I'm here to take genin exams, Hokage-san said. He would make an exception for me, since I was gone for the past 12 years. One Kiba Inazaka decided to yell at this moment quite loudly. What? No way are you allowed to take the exams. You were never in the class to begin with. As Naruto picked up a paper clip, he flicked it over his shoulder as it slammed right in Kiba's face, right between the eyes. You should learn to be silent when someone is speaking with your teacher. The class broke out into hush mutterings about the newcomer, and it seemed like he was slowly building a fan club. From all the squeals from the girls, Aruka, after sorting through the papers, he found a note that the Hokage had left him. As he saw the name of the person that he should allow to take the test, he gasped in shock. Seeing this, Naruto almost broke out laughing. His doll was twitching, knowing the absolute chaos his name would cause. Aruka regained his composure as he told Naruto to introduce himself to the class. Gladly, said Naruto, as he turned. My name is Naruto. I have forsaken my surname for reasons I'd rather not tell you. My likes, well, I like to be left alone, and I like my dolls, said Naruto. My dislikes: bias, arrogance, and stupidity. Hobbies: fighting, training, dream for the future. Well, I have no dream. The entire class stiffened at his name, looking towards the doll before they looked towards his hair, remembering the stories that their parents told them about the monster child that was killed 12 years ago. Perhaps he was back from the dead to gain revenge. The thought of that made a few of them back up in their seat, as Naruto was stifling the laughter that wanted to escape his lips. He made his way up towards the corner as everyone was looking at him. As he sat down, Aruka broke out of his shock as he started to pass out the paper. Outside, 30 minutes later, Naruto was sure that he failed that damn test. He was never good at paperwork, and to be honest, he didn't really care. Things like general history of a ninja was rather stupid when you realize the winners were the ones that write the history, not the losers. And you have to take in a focus that entire villages can be wiped out in the span of a few days going into a week, making history rather obsolete. Theory on kunai throwing. Who the hell need a theory on kunai throwing? The only question he deemed worthy to answer was how the Kyuubi was defeated. He thought his answer would probably give the teachers aneurysm. He wrote, the Kyuubi was sealed in a living person, dooming said person to be an outsider in their own home by the very people he was supposed to protect. Not very smart of the village to do that to their savior, huh? The child disappeared at the age of 3. Perhaps he returned 12 years later without the Kyuubi seal inside of him. They were now going towards the practical side of the exam. Illusion clones, and kunai targeting practice, and hand-to-hand sparring with a chunin. How the hell are these children supposed to protect themselves with skills like that? They may be the same age as him, but damn, they were far below his intellect or anything when compared to his skills. As Naruto's name was finally called, as the teacher noticed he had no pouches for weapons, as the students started to laugh when the teacher pointed out. So Naruto decided to shut them up with his answer. I specialize in wide-scale destructions. Through powerful elemental techniques, kunais are worthless to me. If I ever engage in hand-to-hand combat with kunais, the person I'm fighting better kill me because a puny knife is not gonna help unless you hit someone in the throat, the heart or the brain. The teacher was dumbfounded at the fact that not only had a student basically called him and most of the shinobi populace stupid, he had a good damn reason too. But he still had to hit the targets. Naruto shrugged as he placed the plushy toy down. Before he raised his arm up, purple aura flashed around him. A single word escaped his lip as he brought his hand down. Thunder. 10 identical bolts of white lightning came from the cloudless sky as they slammed into the target. The students looked in awe at this newcomer. As Sasuke's gaze narrowed, he wanted that power for himself as he looked up toward the sky. And he will get it as Naruto picked up the plushy toy before he turned towards the instructor. Does that pass for accuracy? Iruka nodded dumbly as he ushered the class onto the hand-to-hand combat portion of the test. 30 minutes later after, the teacher had fought many of the other students. As Naruto was sure that the man was going easy on them, it was finally his turn as he was set up against the assistant instructor, Mizuki. It seems the man had a, problem with him. Judging from the glare and the aura that resonated from the man when you look at him, hate, anger, rage. As he held on to his doll, Mizuki thought it would be best for Naruto to attack him first, to provoke him into attacking him. What? You're not gonna put your doll away? Afraid it might get dirty? Of all the response, Mizuki never thought of this one, as Naruto started to laugh. So much so he had to cover his mouth, until he finally settled down as he spoke. I'm more afraid if I set it down, it will hurt you. So I'm doing you a favor by keeping away from you. Come at me, if you can, said Naruto. A few of the children started to snicker at that, as that pissed Mizuki off to no end. He charged right at Naruto. He threw everything that he could at the team, including a few kunais. Of course, Iruka turned and asked a few questions whenever Mizuki pulled weapons. It seems even he had a grudge against the demon as well. The man was quite hoping that Mizuki would horribly injure the boy, and he would simply look the other way. But Naruto was using insane flexibility to dodge everything that Mizuki threw at him. He used his left hand to deflect every punch and redirect a few kicks that were aimed towards him. Mostly, he was just dodging everything before he asked, are you actually gonna hit me, or should I just end this now? Because in honesty, you're just making a fool out of yourself. And in front of your students, said Naruto. I mean, it's pathetic. Mizuki snapped as he started to go through hand signs to erase Naruto completely. But Naruto vanished in a blur, and Mizuki's world started to go black. Mizuki fell face first as Naruto jammed the pressure point in his neck to knock him out cold. He really didn't want to go into a battle of techniques with the man because he might just accidentally kill him. For good measure though, he slammed his foot in the man's groin, making sure that he would wake up with an ache. He turned around to Iruka, who was looking quite aggravated. I beat your assistant in hand-to-hand combat, though. I thought weapons and jutsus were illegal. Well, no harm done, said Naruto as he shrugged. The clipboard was cracking to the pressure that Iruka was adding onto it. He nodded before he told the class to go inside, as he took Mizuki to the hospital. 15 minutes later, in the classroom, Iruka returned back. He came back to see Naruto in an odd situation as he was declining date from the girls in the class. As Naruto realized who they were, daughters of civilian members of the council that wanted this power in their family. As Naruto declined everything that they sent his way, he already warned the council it seems they wouldn't take no for an answer, sending their children after him. Iruka cleared his throat, as there was no time for the other part of the test. Students stepping up to perform the transformation and substitution and the clone jutsu. As Naruto's name was called, as Naruto stepped in front of the man, is this required to pass? I am a destruction specialist. I don't know the transformation, the clone, or the substitution technique, because they're completely worthless to my profession, said Naruto. Iruka nodded as he told him they were required to pass the exam. As Naruto sighed as Iruka smirked, thinking that he was just gonna give up, but Naruto wasn't going to. Whatever. Do you want me to make illusionary copies of myself that can be dispelled with a single hit? Or do you want me to destroy an entire city block in one technique. I am more than capable than most of the Jonins in combat, yet the genuine exam require a substitution to pass. Well, it doesn't matter, I don't really care, said Naruto. Maybe I'll just head off to one of these other villages and take part in their exam. I wonder how fun the Kira exam would be. Iruka started to sputter a bit as a Hokage note had specifically said that he had to pass Naruto. Seeing no way out of it, he told Naruto to stay after class, as the others were given their headbands before they quickly left. As Naruto picked up a headband of his own, "What are you doing?" Iruka said. "I know the Hokage told you to pass me," said Naruto. "So, it doesn't matter. Put me as a dead last if you want, I don't really care. Put me on whatever team you want. After all, I'm getting paid to kill people, and that is 100% fine with me." With that, he disappeared with the headband as he was gone. Later that night when he returned, Naruto found envoys waiting for him, as they wanted to question him. Yeah, right. And there was so much of them. "Brick," said Naruto. Immediately, two of the envoys got imprisoned in a thick grey boulder, while the remaining two tried to attack him by grabbing his long golden hair. "Bio Brick," said Naruto, as a thick green sludge slipped off his hair and encased said envoy. As Naruto vanished, the last one tried to move, but he found himself unable to. He looked down towards his feet as he saw he started to turn into stone. What the hell? He tried to flee or move, but he could not. As he froze, he was petrified. Meanwhile, at Hokage's office, Hiruzen was just about to leave for the day until Naruto arrived, with 4 statues that looked oddly like his envoys. As Naruto answered his question without him even asking, "They wanted to capture me and bring me in for questioning. They will be this way for the next few hours, unless I reverse the technique. So either you tell me what the hell is going on, why you're trying to abduct me from my own apartment, or is there someone else in this village able to order the envoy around?" Hiruzen was shocked at the accusation, though on the inside he was hitting himself over and over for asking envoys to escort Naruto back to the Hokage's tower, so he could ask him a few things that slipped his mind when they first met. He sighed as he was about to apologize to the team when he was cut off once again. "Don't bother apologizing. It's not your fault that you were trying to be forceful with me. However, you should realize that I'm not well liked in this village. You should have either sent a clone or sent someone that you trusted, instead of sending off-brand envoys to get me. If they do this again, the next time I bring them back, they will be dust." Hiruzen sat back as he sighed. "I wanted to ask you a few things that I never got to when you first came here. Can you release them now?" he asked. A pale aura came on Naruto's hand as he thrust it forward. The envoys returned back to their normal state, still face twisted in shock, as Naruto spoke to them. "If you ever try to apprehend me or attack me in my own home again, I won't turn you into stone. I will kill you in the most explosive way possible, like I did to Danzo. Do not let your petty hatred get in the way of your jobs. If you wish to continue living, you will leave this office now before I permanently alter you on a genetic level," said Naruto. The envoys glared at him before they vanished in the sunshine. As Naruto sat down as he turned back to Hiruzen, "What was it that you needed?" he said. Hiruzen glanced towards the doll that was always in Naruto's arm. He just couldn't get over the fact that the little plush toy had destroyed a whole section of the village and killed off his successor as well. He was almost positive the fox had to be influencing the boy's behavior. "I wanted to ask who that lady you were talking to before she broke my crystal ball." At this, Naruto's face twisted. His eyes flashed purple. "She was my caretaker, and the next time you find it prudent to place a chakra tag on me, so that you may keep me on tab, I will destroy every single one of your crystal balls. I do not take being spied on lightly, and if you had that damn tag on me, why weren't you able to protect me better when I was a child? If my memory served correctly, quite a few memory techniques were used on me to erase traumatic mob beatings, over 40 in number. Were you afraid that your village weapon would be out of control if you was forced to grow up in that environment, feeling oddly regretful that your successor's son was treated in such a way? How can you be so blind to think I would live a normal life when I was a Jinjulki?" Hiruzen looked stricken at the teen well-pleased anger, trying to come up with a way to reason for him placing that tag on him. He knew the kid was right. He could have used that tag to make sure Naruto was not being treated unfairly at any point. He saw the ball of sunshine that reminded him so much of his successor, and it brought up happy memories. As he had kept his distance, but he had made sure that the boy did not remember the horrible times that he went through. But that came back to bite him right in the ass, didn't it? Naruto got to his feet, having enough of his silence as he started to move towards the window. As Naruto paused, he did not look back but he spoke. I only serve this village. As long as it served me, I will not be your mindless weapon. I will not emulate my sire and try to protect this village at my life cost. I will stay so long as it serves my needs, and when that time comes as it try to control me, as I'm sure it will, I will leave, and I will never come back. Your village is irreversibly corrupted, Hokage-san, and there's nothing that you can do about it. And tomorrow, since I have to be at the academy for team assignments, I need you to pass on a message to the council for me. Tell them that I know what they're playing at, and there is no way that they can try to breed my bloodline. If they continue these petty attempts, I will enact retribution. And have a pleasant evening, Hokage-san, said Naruto. A black hole opened up as it swallowed the boy as he vanished. Harrison looked like he just aged 20 years in a second as he sighed and rubbed his forehead. The next morning, it was quite crazy how a fan club could be formed and disband so quickly when they realized who he was. Now their mind was just conflicted, but Naruto did not care one bit. As he was wondering how Lulu was doing, he hoped wherever she was happy. Meanwhile, in the far plain, Lulu was currently watching the TV broadcasts of Naruto's life with the rest of the Final Fantasy X. Their first impression of Lulu apprentice was quite varied. Kamari looked at him and asked if that was really a man, given his long flowing straight blonde hair. As it was not really spiky, it was just flowing, and not to mention the clothing and the features. He kind of looked like a handsome girl. Kaido's cheer, finally having a fellow blonde with fan people issues, and start to take ways of avoiding them. Complete isolation from society, coupled with intense hatred. Orin had smirked at the boy, complimented Lulu on passing her attitude on an impressionable child. She had replied that at least she didn't pass on Waka's attitude. Waka was whining that he looked too grumpy, effects of being taken care of by Lulu this entire time. Yuna had laughed softly, congratulating Lulu on finally finding someone that she could take care like a son. And it seems the boy had liked her outfit. After all, he was wearing all black as well, and the clothing kind of looked similar, well fitting for a magic user. Riku had squealed, going star-eyed at the blonde. That was until she learned of the attitude of the people of Konoha, and she turned her massive, feminine fury towards the populace of the village. Back with Naruto, he ignored every other names until he finally heard the team that he was on. Team 7 led by Kakashi Hatake will compose of Sakura Haruno, Sasuke Uchiha, and Naruto. 3 hours later, as Naruto was meditating, the doll was on top of his head. Sakura was discreetly hiding a syringe, waiting for Sasuke to drop his guard so that she could acquire some blood for her Sasuke shrine. Sasuke was well aware of the girl's intention as he moved across the room away from her. This was a scene that one Hatake Kakashi walked in on. The Uchiha cowered in fear from that pink-haired girl who was hiding that syringe. Not too well, but the final student though was one that got his attention, not in a positive way. The Kyuubi doll perched on his head immediately became the victim of Kakashi's glare. The golden-haired boy snapped his eyes open and glared right back at Kakashi. As Naruto could immediately feel the hatred from the doorway. Opening his eyes, he saw that it was finally Sensei who arrived, one Kakashi Hatake. As Kakashi led them all up to the roof. Alright, state your name, likes, dislikes, hobbies, dreams, and specializations, he said. His voice sounded lazy, but Naruto could tell that he was interested. If his memory served correctly, Kakashi had an implanted Sharingan eye, so the council probably bribed him to teach Sasuke. Sensei, can you go first? Asked Sakura. My name is Kakashi Hatake. My likes. My dislikes. Hobbies. You're too young to know that. And my dreams. He cut himself off with a giggle before he continued back his introduction. Specialization, ninjutsu, and Sharingan use. Sasuke had snapped up at the last part. No painful attention how this man had a Sharingan when he wasn't a Uchiha. As Kakashi elaborated, I have an implanted Sharingan eye. I can't use it like a real Uchiha, but I can use it well. Pinky, your turn. She huffed a nickname. My name is Sakura Haruno. My likes are... She looked towards Sasuke. I mean the person I like is... As she squealed some more. Before she calmed down a bit, my dislikes are Ino Pig. Hobbies are... As she looked towards Sasuke. As Sasuke edged further away from her, she tries to rape him, or gather a piece of his blood and skin, to decorate her Sasuke shrine, said Naruto. Kakashi snickered a bit at that, as Sakura glared at Naruto before she continued her introduction. My dreams are... She bit her nail, as she squealed towards Sasuke. She didn't pause. Specializations. I only know the Academy Jutsu, so I don't have one. I have good chakra control though. Kakashi nodded as he wondered who he could pawn her off to. Maybe Kunai. He then turned towards Sasuke. Your turn, he said. As Sasuke looked up, my name is Sasuke Uchiha, he said. As a dramatic wind just appeared out of nowhere and started to blow his hair, as the duck ass started to flutter. The wind quieted after Kakashi sent a glance towards Naruto, who was twitching a bit. I have no likes. I have many dislikes. My main one is fangirls. As Sakura heard it a different way though. What she heard was, I dislike fangirls except for Sakura, because I love Sakura. I dislike all other fangirls besides her. I love you too, Sasuke, she squealed out, hearing her own side of what she wanted to hear. As Sasuke looked towards her like she was mad. He continued on. My dream for the future. It's not really a dream, he said. It's more of an ambition. It's to kill a certain man. The wind came back full force and blew his hair back as a spotlight shined down on him. They both disappear as Kakashi glared at Naruto once again. I specialize in fire jutsu, and the moment I unlock my Sharingan, I would be unstoppable. Ew, with the fox doll here next to Kakashi. My name is Naruto. Likes include training, as well as fighting. I enjoy playing with my doll. Sasuke snickered at that, mumbling about girly dolls. Sasuke could have sworn the doll started to glare at him as he went quiet. Kakashi glared at the doll suspiciously, as he wanted a reason, any reason, to destroy that thing. My dislikes are biases, arrogance, and corrupt politician. I have newly added. Hobbies are training, mostly. I meditate a lot as well. Dream. I suppose to serve this village until they try to control me, and then leave by choice or force. This information shocked the other three. Specialization. Wide-scale destruction. Animated objects with no life. And I also do well in hand-to-hand combat. The second point was the last straw as Kakashi launched towards the doll as he believed. It was a Kyuubi, as it was reincarnated, animated, corrupting his student, and also the thing that was responsible for killing his sensei. But before he could grab the doll, Naruto palm strike him in the chest. As Naruto continued to speak, completely ignoring the fact that he just struck his teacher down. I also get really pissed off when people think that it's good to take out their fear and anger on my doll. After regaining his composure, Kakashi told them to meet him at training ground 7, 6 AM the other day. He told Naruto to stay behind. As Naruto leaned back as he complied, Naruto, he said, you and I need to go meet with the Hokage about this. Whatever, Hatake-san, you go do that. I'll go back to my apartment. Kakashi ignored Naruto as he grabbed him by his shoulder, as he sunched away with him, only for Naruto to push him off. Once they arrived, you dear, lay your hand on me, said Naruto. Toad. With the spoken word, Kakashi found himself shrinking. What the hell? His clothing started to get so much bigger. But he was shrinking as he vanished away in his clothing. Kakashi looked up as he saw the massive nine-tailed plushie toy that was walking towards him. Releasing a scream of terror that came out as a rabbit, he hopped around Hokage's office with the plushie toy chasing after him with an evil look. As the plushie toy was having the time of his life, he was able to terrorize ninjas in his small plushie form. The brat should do this more often. As Naruto turned towards the Hokage and the two council members, who was in the office. Hiruzen sighed. Naruto, could you change Kakashi back? I think he might have learned his lesson by now. I was actually about to send a clone to get you. These two council members have something to discuss with you. As Naruto's finger twitched, Kakashi reverted back to his human form as he was panicking, looking around with a shocked look on his face. But the Kyuubi plush toy was right between his crotch. As he bit down, Kakashi screamed out rather girlishly before he passed out. As Naruto held out his arm as a fox jumped right in his arm, as he started to scratch his belly for a job well done. The council members had something though as Naruto saw them smirking. As they spoke, Naruto-san, the Honorable Council has come to a decision. To grace you with the honor of teaching young Sasuke Uchiha your techniques, so that he can succeed in killing his brother who murdered his entire clan. 8 hours, said Naruto. What? I warned you before. This time, it will be 8 hours. Break, said Naruto. The two council members froze as they turned into statues, a horrified look on their face at being turned to stone, and unable to stop it at all. If they ever tried it again, they will die a horrible death, said Naruto. When the Hokage wakes up, tell him that he also been warned, and he should never threaten my doll again, said Naruto. With that, he vanished. The next day, 9 AM, Naruto arrived in a swirl of fire. Right after Kakashi arrived, and was just about to ask where Naruto was. He glared towards a fox on Naruto's head that seemed to be looking quite smug. But he didn't do anything though. He pulled out the alarm clock as he told him about the bell test. Before releasing 2 bells, Kakashi had a chance to get some revenge on the boy from what happened before. That experience being a toad was horrible. After putting Sakura under Genjutsu, after taking out Sasuke, which was pretty easy, well, he had to pass the boy anyway, he started to hunt for Naruto. As he found Naruto leaning against a tree, waiting for him, the fox plushie curled against his feet. Kakashi launched several kunais towards the plushie toy. He also released a fireball to melt the thing, but everything was stopped by an arc of lightning. As the kunais and shurikens embed in the ground, the fire jutsu was evaporated into a thin mist. As Naruto opened his eyes, seeing that they were closed the entire time. I told you to not try and destroy my doll, didn't I? Said Naruto. He glared in reply, angry that the genin had stopped his assault, but the doll seemed to be giving him this mocking look. I don't care. It needs to die. It looked just like the Kyuubi's Kakashi. So, let me get this straight. Anything that has any sort of resemblance to the fox, even if it's just an animated object or not, it must be destroyed. Naruto shook his head. Your blind hatred sickened me, Hatake. In fact, I won't even fight you. I'll let my doll fight you. As Naruto sent some mana through the doll, it moved at Jonin speeds. Kakashi found himself literally had to put in effort to dodge the attacks. Its tails whipped around as he had to jump back. The toy was coming upon him fast and it was too close. He could not use any jutsu as it attacked him relentlessly. As he was backed up against a tree, the toy seemed to chuckle. Looks like you failed, Hatake-san, the toy said. It then leaped forward. Kakashi tried to move at last moment, but the doll moved in mid-air and slammed right in his stomach before using his tail to slam into Kakashi, adding extra force. A evil smirk came on its face. It didn't stop there as it headbutted him right in the groin. The same pain as yesterday. The man squealed in pain as he blacked out. 2 hours later, the bell rang as Kakashi was awoken. The first thing he noticed was the horrible pain between his legs. The next thing he noticed was he was tied to the stump as he tried to get free, but he could not. As he saw that all 3 of his students were looking at him, Sasuke was holding a bell. Naruto was holding his first copy of Ichi Ichi Paradise signed by the author itself, and Sakura was holding the other bell. So what will it be? Do we pass? Or, said Naruto as he held out his hand, your book get, oh you know. Kakashi was feared for his book. That was his precious, as he instantly agreed. Sasuke walked away after he heard that he passed, with Sakura slowly chasing after him. Well, since you can't hold your own against one of your own genins, I think this book is wasting your time, and you need to train. As the book exploded in blue flames, Kakashi screamed to the heavens, no, Not my precious! Rage gave him the strength to break from his bonds as he rushed towards a pile of ash, but Naruto was long gone. He cried, looking towards the ash that was once his precious book, as he swore vengeance. The humiliation, the burden of his book, he would make him pay. And he will pay after all. He was now is joining Sensei. He would make sure he put him through hell. Time skip. 5 months later, after multiple attempts on his life, forcing him to carry Tora the cat, Naruto was fed up. As Naruto handed off the cat to the Fire Daimyo wife, he realized why the cat hated her so much. Lady, you may want to let up on your grip, said Naruto. You're causing the cat a bit of pain. That is the reason why he keep on running away. The woman looked shocked, before she looked down towards her cat with an inquisitive eye. Sure enough, it was squealing in pain as she squeezed it against her bosom. She had an epiphany. Thank you for your advice, young man. Hopefully my precious Tora won't run away from mommy anymore. Harrison started to list off the direct missions, as Naruto snapped. Enough with this crap, said Naruto. Hokage-san, either you give us a C-rap mission or something higher, or your stash of literature, said Naruto, will go up in smoke. And I do know what draw they're in. Harrison looked up startled. He didn't think the boy would be ruthless enough to attack his poor Ichi series. Sure, he did it to Kakashi, but... And the crystal ball as well, said Naruto. The entire team was confused at these comments. Literature and crystal ball. After all, they didn't know that your Hokage was also a closet pervert. I will allow it, Harrison said. Here is something for you. A C-rap mission to escort a bridge builder while he builds a bridge in Naminokune. Said man entered the room as he focused on Naruto. The girly boy with the long hair won't be able to protect me, he said. Unfortunately, Naruto was already pissed. The man had to duck as Naruto launched several fireballs towards him. Lucky enough, the Hokage stopped Naruto. As the man realized that the girly boy was a lot stronger than he thought, Sasuke was getting more and more pissed off at how easy Naruto could do these things. As he launched fireballs, don't even performing hand signs. Sakura was kind of afraid of Naruto and his temper. His techniques would ruin her hair, maybe even burn it off, so she did not really aggravate him that much. Kakashi was still glaring hatefully at Naruto, and he would make him pay. He didn't want Naruto in his team, but who knows? Anything can happen on a mission. After all, this was a dangerous territory they were going into, and the world was a dangerous place. Time skip. Tazuna wondered if the boy was crazy, as Naruto had the plushie toy in front of his face, staring at it. Was he doing a staring contest? But Tazuna would not call him crazy, given that the boy nearly burned him to pieces. So he decided to keep quiet and wait. The time passed. They wait for Kakashi to arrive. 2.5 hours later, Kakashi finally arrived in a puff of smoke, where he saw Tazuna in the corner rocking back and front about evil dolls plotting to kill him. And he wasn't crazy. He swore that he saw the doll blink and gave him a smirk, but no one believed him. I mean, no one would believe him, right? It's a doll! But he saw it blink. He could swear it. As Naruto was currently looking down at the golems that he had created, as it was a massive creature made from stone chasing them. They were like toys. Lightning and wind was combined to create realistic weather effects above the stone soldiers, as he created a smaller plushie of the fox that was made from fire that ran after them. Kakashi coughed to get their attention and it was time to move out. As everything melted away into the ground, only the scorch marks left behind from the lightning showed that there was something that happened there. As Sasuke was getting more and more pissed off at Naruto doing these things. Time skip. A few hours later, as Naruto was getting bored until he finally spotted something, a puddle of water on this hot, sunny day. He could feel the ninjas inside, 2 of them. Sasuke was glaring up at the sun, trying to will it to stop shining because it was too hot. Sakura was trying to make Sweaty look attractive, as she was getting exhausted from walking for so long. Kakashi was the only one that spotted the puddle and saw what it truly was. Well, if he didn't, Naruto would have realized that he was a complete idiot. But these kids, what the hell did they teach him in the academy? He shook his head, realizing that this is what he would have become if he had stayed in Konoha, a worthless piece of crap. Kakashi really wanted Naruto off his team by any means, even mean getting him killed as well. He tapped Sasuke on the shoulder as he whispered to his ear about the true meaning behind the puddle and what it truly was. He told him to leave it alone and let Naruto fight it himself. But he didn't account for Sasuke. Well, pride. Sasuke would never let anyone show him up, as he had to be the best. As they passed by the puddle, immediately, the two ninjas burst out. Kakashi was wrapped up in a chain before they pulled, as they shredded him to pieces. Sasuke tensed up a bit. The man was supposed to help him with the Sharingan, and now he was dead. Damn it. He blamed Itachi for everything though, so all was well. As Naruto was looking off in the forest where Kakashi was, he wondered if he should just blast the entire area and blame Kakashi's death on missing ninjas. His thoughts about ending the man was interrupted though, as Sasuke pulled a kunai and charged towards the two missing ninjas. He threw a shuriken as he pinned the chain into the tree. By pinning the connected links, the ninjas dislocated the chain as they moved, individually this time, not as one. He was able to get in a few punches and kicks, but his weapon was knocked away immediately. Realizing that Sasuke was not going to win, Kakashi was about to intervene, but Naruto was itching to fight something. He raised his right hand up to his face. A purple aura enveloped his entire being. He shoved his hand into the air in a palm thrust, like he was attacking an imaginary enemy. Arrow, he said. A gust of wind slammed into the brothers as they screamed. This gust was not normal, as slicing wing blades were in it. Clothes and flesh started to be shredded as they were ripped apart in mid-air before it brought them back down, and viciously slammed them both through a tree. As they were knocked out, they were bleeding heavily, but they wouldn't die so easily. But they were unconscious though. Tezuno realized that he might have spoke without noticing, but it seems the girly one was the strongest of the three. After all, the pink-haired girl was still frozen of her teacher's death, though Chia was still glaring at his own teammate for stealing his spotlight even though he was gonna die. And the sensei was Kakashi appeared in front of the man, startling him. As Naruto rolled his eyes, "Look who finally decided to show up," he said. But guys, we'll be ending episode right here. If you want to see this more, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification as I posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, remember to stay tuned for the rest of what is coming your way, and I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. But I'm out for now, see you guys soon. Peace.